Om. 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 Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam. Paramananda Madhavam. Okay, we'll read the verses we covered last time. So last time we covered from verse number 10, verse number 11, and we started also talking about verse number 12. So let's read those three verses. Bijam mam sarva bhutanam vidhi partha sanatanam buddhir buddhimatam asmi tejas tejasvinamaham balam balavatam chaham kamaraga vivarjitam dharma viruddho bhuteshu Kamosmi Bharatarshabha. Ye chaiva satvika bhavaha rajasastamasascha ye matta eveti tan vidhi natvaham teshu te mai. So what Bhagavan Krishna was telling us last time, that he expresses as many vibhutis, right? And one of the vibhutis, he says, buddhihi buddhimatam asmi. I am the intelligence of the intelligent. Meaning, in those who are intelligent, the true intelligence is those that seek beyond. Those that seek beyond the body, mind, intellect, beyond their individuality. Those that use their intelligence to do that, that is me. He says, I am the splendor of the splendid. Those whose brilliance shines forth, such great Mahatmas in their presence, their brilliance just shines forth. So much so that we also feel brilliant. We also feel pure in their presence. Or it also means when knowledge shines at the right moment, that splendor is Bhagavan. Bhagavan also said, I am the strength of the strong. What does that mean? We saw that strength is derived from swadharma anushtanam. It is derived from performing our dharma. Because the strongest strength is that which is devoid of desire, likes and dislikes. So when we do our dharma, dharma means it's not something necessarily that we want to do. It is given to us and we do it because we have to do it. And in dharma, there's no likes and dislikes. There's no I feel like doing it, I don't feel like doing. What has to be done has to be done. And when people follow their dharma and live a life of dharma, they become incredibly strong. So, balam balavatam. One might wonder, how did somebody like Gandhari, how did she have that ability to curse Sri Krishna in Mahabharata? How did she have that ability? It's because she abided in her dharma throughout. That's what gave her strength. Then, dharma aviruddho bhuteshu kamosmi. I am that desire which is devoid of opposition to dharma, which is not opposed to dharma. And which desires are not opposed to dharma? So we saw last time, desires that are controlled. Obviously, we have to eat, we have to sleep, we have to exercise, we have to do our daily duties, we have to go about life, but sometimes we overdo and sometimes we underdo. So those desires which are controlled, they are moderated, regulated, those are dharmic desires. Those desires which are channeled towards something higher, towards getting ourselves improved or improvement of the self, development of the self. Those desires which are channeled, those are dharmic desires. Those desires which contribute to the benefit of society, those are dharmic desires. So 3 C's. Desires that are controlled, desires that are channeled, desires that contribute to the greater good, these are dharmic desires. And this, Sri Krishna says, I am that desire. So don't worry if such desires come, I am that desire. Then in verse 12, Sri Krishna says that I am in everything. Actually, everything stems forth from me. They are in me, but I am not in them. So we were seeing this verse last time. We'll see this a little more closely. On verse 12, so where is Sri Krishna's mind now? First, he pointed out bhuti. Bhuti meaning I am that string of awareness upon which all names and forms are strung. That is me. There's nothing other than me. But because we don't recognize this awareness, this existence, he says, okay, let me show you my vibhuti. You see me, rasoham apsu kaunteya. I am the rasa in water. I am the strength of the strong. I am the sound in space. I am Om in the Vedas. He says, look at my vibhuti. Look at my glories. So for those who cannot go straight to understand God in essence, then we go to understand God's expression. And it's not that all other things do not have existence, consciousness, awareness in them. It's not that all of those things do not have God in them. They do. But it's easier. It's easier to see God in a tree rather than a garbage can. Although both are from Paramatma, both are from God. It's easier to see God in a butterfly rather than to see God in a building. But both are Paramatma. So why is this? It's because the nature of God is Sat, Chit, Ananda. Existence, consciousness, bliss. Sat manifest. Sat manifest is determination, is fortitude, it's steadfastness. Chit manifest is life. It's life, it's expression. Ananda manifest is peace. It's peace, it's calmness. So the closer something is to the manifest Sat, Chit, Ananda, the easier it is to see God in that expression. So in a tree, we see the manifest expression of Sat because it's so sturdy, it's so strong. And a tree, typically, if we see redwood trees in the forest, they live for like thousands of years old. So they are so strong and steady. It's easy to see Chit manifest because the tree has life. It has leaves, it grows plants and fruits. So it's easy. And the tree also has Ananda manifest in the sense that when we're around the tree, we feel peaceful, we feel calm. So in a tree, it is easier to see God. In a butterfly, it is easier to see God because we see existence, we see how the butterfly actually blooms slowly. There's existence. There's Chit manifest, there's life, it's moving around, it's fluttering. And Ananda, that very butterfly also gives us such delight because it's so colorful and pleasing to look at. So in this way, Bhagavan enumerated his vibhutis because it's easier to touch God, or rather to connect to God in the Satvic expressions. But in this verse, he says very clearly, note, ye chaiva sattvika bhavaha. He says, whatever beings that are sattvic, rajasaha, rajasic, tamasaha chaye. Whatever beings are rajasic, sattvic, tamasic, matta eva iti. They are only from me. Natvaham teshu te mayi. Te mayi, they are in me. Natu aham teshu, I am not in them. So he says, they are in me, I am not in them. So all beings we can think of, they are from Bhagwan only. And this word bhavaha can be looked at in several ways. One meaning of bhavaha is in our own, what we call sanghata, our own assemblage here, there's a sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic aspect. The tamasic aspect is our body. It's our body, right? It's born from the tamasic aspect of the 5 elements. The rajasic aspect are pranas. So there's a movement. And our organs of action, our grasping, our locomotion, our speech, our excretion, our reproduction, like that, organs of action. And then what happens is our organs of knowledge and our antakarana. Antakarana means the mind, intellect, ego, memory equipment. All of these are from the sattvic aspect of the 5 elements. So one meaning of bhavaha is in this very assemblage here, there is sattvic, rajasic, tamasic aspects. And all of this is from God or Paramatma. Another meaning of bhavaha is beings. As I said, all beings are from God. Whether it's a sofa, whether it's a floor, whether it's a book, whether it's a butterfly, a bird, a tree, everything is from God alone. Whether it exudes more tamasic tendencies like a stone, more rajasic tendencies like a lion, or more sattvic tendencies like a cow, they're all from Paramatma. The third is whatever moods or thoughts my mind has. Sometimes I have tamasic thoughts, lethargy, laziness, negligence, spaced out. Sometimes those thoughts are there. Sometimes very active thoughts are there, restless, distracted. Those kinds of thoughts are there. Sometimes very calm, poised, peaceful thoughts are there. All of those are from Paramatma alone. And bhavaha also means the 3 states: waking, dream, and deep sleep. Waking is when sattva guna is predominant, because everything can clearly be seen, clearly be experienced. Dream is Rajasic, the predominance of rajas, because it's so hazy. It's not clear. For movement, it's not hazy. And deep sleep is predominantly tamasic, because there's no movement. We're just still. So in this way, Bhagavan says, really everything is from me. Matta eva iti. Everything is from me. Everything Rajasic, everything Satvic, everything Tamasic, everything is from me. So the concern is, but won't Bhagavan get affected? If everything is coming from Bhagavan, won't Bhagavan get affected? Like a seed. A seed is there, it's the cause, and when the seed sprouts, the seed breaks and it becomes, a stem. It has leaves, it has flowers, it has plants. It breaks. When an egg becomes a chicken, it cracks. So if all of these things are from Bhagavan, then doesn't Bhagavan go through samsara? Doesn't Bhagavan get affected? So for that reason, he says vidhi, tan vidhi, means vidhi, know tan, know them to be what? Te mahi, they may be in me, but na tu aham teshu, I am not in them. So they may be in me, meaning I am the substratum of everything. I'm the substratum of everything, but I am untouched by everything. So the relationship here is not cause and effect. It's not Bhagavan causes the world and the world is an effect. Because if anybody is a cause, the cause will be subject to modification. Like the seed sprouting or the egg of the chicken breaking. So it's not cause and effect, but rather in Sanskrit it's called Adhyasta-Adhishtana Sambandha. The relationship is substratum and superimposed. So Bhagavan is the substratum, like the screen, and everything is superimposed in Bhagavan. So everything depends on Bhagavan for existence. Everything exists in Bhagavan, but Bhagavan does not depend on anything for his existence. The screen doesn't depend on the movie. The screen can exist without the movie, and definitely the screen is not affected by the movie. So the movie exists in the screen. They are in me. The movie exists in the screen. Without the screen, there's no movie. The movie exists in the screen, but the screen does not exist in the movie. The screen, meaning, is not dependent on the movie, nor is the screen affected by what happens in the movie. Let it be a comedy, a romance, a scary movie, nothing happens to the screen. So in this way, Bhagavan says, this is who I am. In actuality, I am the substratum of the entire world. This is my glory. And so when Bhagavan says this, then, a question arises, why can't people know Bhagavan? Why can't people know the truth of that being, that ultimate being? Why is it so difficult? So now we go to verse number 13. Okay, so here, Bhargavi Auntie, if you can follow me, that would be very good. Tribhirgunamayairбhavaihi
त्रिभिर्गुणमयै भावै sorry, I cannot read. त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैः
एभिः सर्वमिदं जगत्
येभिः सर्वमिदं जगत्
मोहितं नाभिजानाति
मोहितं नाभिजानाति
मामेभ्यः परमव्ययम्.
मामेभ्यः परमव्ययम्.
त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैः एभिः सर्वमिदं जगत् मोहितं नाभिजानाति मामेभ्यः परमव्ययम्. So what's he saying here? Sri Krishna says, let me tell you why the world doesn't understand my true essence. What is the problem? He says, tribhihi, by the three what? Gunamayehi, by the three gunas, what happens? Bhavehi, by the nature of these three gunas, ebhihi, by these, sarvam idam jagat mohitam. Sarvam, this entire, idam, this, jagat, this entire world, mohitam, is deluded. And na abhijanati, and nobody knows me. Nobody knows who? Mam. Nobody knows me, Mam. And who am I? Sri Krishna says, Ebhyaha param avyayam. Means I am param, I am higher, ebhyaha, higher than them. And I am avyayam, I am immutable. So deluded by these natures, these states, these things, these beings, composed of the three gunas, all this world knows me not as immutable and distinct from them. So what happens here? So this world is three gunas. We have seen that. And we get so deluded by these three gunas. We get so deluded in that we focus our day-to-day life on what we experience rather than the nature of the experiencer. So for example, when we see something so beautiful, the eclipse happened, yes? Eclipse happened. If people went out to see the eclipse and drove to so many places to see the eclipse, but how many people will actually think, where is the sun and the moon? What is the substratum of the sun and the moon? Where are they from? How many people will think that? Very, very few. Everybody will drive to the eclipse. They'll take a day off, they'll set everything aside, they'll spend so much money, they'll go there, they'll buy the glasses, they'll look at it. Who will inquire what is actually the substratum of the sun and the moon? Anybody? We put so much effort to go out to a nice restaurant to eat. We will look at all the reviews. What is the review of this restaurant? And then we'll call this person, call that person, what to order. And we will go there, make a reservation. We'll also work to make sure we are hungry, we have enough appetite because we must enjoy the food. And we will go nicely to the restaurant. But how many people will think, where did this sense of taste come from? I'm tasting all of these foods, sweet, salty, spicy, but where did this taste come from? We will go out to hear so many things, go out to hear the news, hear this person talk, hear this person speak. But how many of us will go to the substratum of, where does sound come from? Substratum of sound. Mohitam. We are all deluded. Sarvam mohitam. So this entire world and sarvam, all of us also, sarvam mohitam. We are all deluded because our focus is on what we perceive, what we experience. We are not going into the nature of the experiencer. And in this way, we live our lives. This is Maya. Maya will come in the next verse, but this is that Maya. And he says, who am I? I am Param. Param means then these gunas, ebhyaha, then these gunas, I am supreme. I am the highest. I am their substratum. I am the innermost, the nature of the experiencer, which enables people to experience. I am the substratum. I am that which is untouched. I am supreme. That's my nature. Param. And he says, my nature is avyayam, means I am immutable. I am unchanging. This is me, but people don't know me. And so then everybody's questioning. Yeah? Everybody is thinking now. Arjuna froze for a moment. He said, if now, Sri Krishna, think about this. If you say that everything is in the realm of the three gunas, everything, this whole body, the mind has thoughts in the three gunas, this whole world is made of three gunas. And if you say that you are beyond three gunas, then I give up. I'm never going to get to you. Because I am in the realm of three gunas, you are beyond three gunas. So how are you going to get me to realize you? This is actually impossible. So let us stop everything now. So Sri Krishna says, no, don't you worry, there is a way. My Maya may be difficult to cross, but it's not impossible. And I will tell you what my Maya is and how to cross it. Now the next verse, 14, it's a very famous verse, very beautiful verse. And so we will reflect on this verse. Okay? Daivi Yesha Gunamayi.
Devi Yesha Gunamayi
Mama Maya Duratyaya.
Mama Maya Duratyaya
Mameva ye prapadyante.
Mameva ye prapadyante
Mayam etam taranti te.
Mayam etam taranti te
Taivi hyesha gunamayi. Mama maya duratyaya. Mameva ye prapadyante. Mayam etam taranti te. So, what does this verse mean? Daivi is divine. He Esha, indeed, Esha. He means indeed, Esha means this. Gunamayi, this Maya, which is three gunas. Mama, this is my Maya. This is my Maya. Maya I'll translate in a bit. Duratyaya, it is difficult to cross. Mam eva ye prapadyante. Ye prapadyante, those who take refuge. Mam eva, in me alone. Mayam etam, this Maya. Tarantite, they are able to cross over it. So verily, this divine illusion of mind made up of gunas is difficult to cross over. Those who take refuge in me, they alone can cross over this illusion. So let us see one by one. First, what is Maya? Now, if your name is Maya, don't worry. It is a very beautiful name. That's the first thing I'll tell you. It's a very, very beautiful name. Because there are two kinds of Mayas. One is called Vidya Maya. One is called Avidya Maya. Vidya Maya is the Maya of knowledge. And Avidya Maya is the Maya of ignorance. So everything that takes us closer to the self, that is called Vidya Maya, the Maya of knowledge. And that includes Vedanta, that includes Bhagavad Gita, that includes all of our study, bhakti, yoga, all of that falls under Vidya Maya. So that is a very beautiful thing. No complaints. Avidya, Maya is that which takes us away from ourselves. So in this verse, we are talking about avidya, Maya. Okay? So that's one clarification. Now, what is this Maya? Maya literally means that which is experienced, but it is not there. So it is called in Vedanta Anirvachaniya. Anirvachaniya means it's inexplicable. We can't explain it. But why can't we explain it? Because it's not Sat. It's not absolutely real, but it's not Asat. It's not absolutely unreal. Meaning, it's not absolutely real like pure consciousness. That's always there. And it's not absolutely unreal like the common example is horns on a rabbit. You know, there's actually no horns in a rabbit. It's like our total imagination. So it is not that it's there truly, and it's not that it's not there truly. It is something like we experience it, but it is not absolutely there. For example, we cannot say the world is not there. We cannot say it's like the horns on a rabbit. We're imagining it. No, we're experiencing the world. We're experiencing the world. We can see, we can hear, we can taste. We're experiencing it. But we cannot say that the world is truly there, because when we move into dream or move into deep sleep, we have no experience of it anymore. So Maya is something that's experienced, but it is not absolutely real. And this is why we call it Anirvachaniya. It's inexplicable. Now, this Maya is Daivi. Daivi here means it depends on Brahman. It cannot exist without Brahman. So Maya on its own is in Panchadashi, it's called Nistatva. It cannot exist on its own. Just like a movie cannot exist on its own, it needs a screen. This whole world of names and forms cannot exist on its own right. It needs to be backed up by awareness and existence. So Devi is to say that it is backed up by consciousness. It cannot be experienced on its own. The example they give in Vedanta is Maya is like 0, 0, 0, 0. You can write as many zeros as you want, and they all look like they're expanding. But with all of those zeros, you can't do much. If you write a check and you put 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, you can't do much. The minute you put a 1 there, then you can do a lot with that. Correct? So, in the same way, Maya is like that 0, 0, 0. We can't do much with it. When you put that 1, that backing of Brahman, then you can do so much. So, Daivi. Then here the word he means indeed. Indeed it has to be there. Indeed it has to be there. This is coming from the standpoint of arthapatti. So this word he means presumption. So Daivi means it's backed by consciousness. That's why it's divine, it's effulgent. He means it's indeed there because we see its effects. So in Vedanta, there's something called anumana. There's something called inference. Like we say, whenever there is smoke, there is fire. This is what we call inference, because every time we've seen smoke, we've seen fire. But there's something called arthapatti, which means presumption. Like if we see a road that's wet, we saw it, maybe we woke up this morning and we saw the road was wet. So we infer that yesterday it must have rained. Yesterday it must have rained, or yesterday somebody must have been watering their plants and that's why this part is wet. So yesterday these things must have happened and that's why we see the road is wet. So in inference, you will always see smoke and fire together. In presumption, you won't see them together. Like the road could be wet in the morning, but it could have rained the night before. So here, because we see the world of three gunas, three natures, we see a Satvic, a very pure part of the world. We see Rajasic, a very dynamic, active part of the world. We see a Tamasic, a very inert part of the world. We see all of these things in the world, so we infer that it has to come from this Maya. It has to come from this Maya. So indeed, it is there because we are seeing its effects. So because we are seeing its effects, there must be that cause for it. And that cause is Maya. Now, if we also look at science, right? So some people might wonder, might question, but science is saying different things. Science is saying could be Big Bang, and science is saying it could be quarks, it could be bosons, it could be so many different particles. And then when you keep digging and digging to these particles, they become imperceptible. They can't even see now what's beyond those particles. Then they'll say it's just energy pockets. It's just pockets of energy. Then if you dig, then they'll say it's an inference. It's a paradox. We think that this could be it. We think that could be it. So there's so many paradoxes, there's so many theories. There's so many of these things. And then finally, it will come to where do all of these things exist? They exist in Brahman. So even if we look at it the scientific way, that they keep digging into what exactly caused this world, they are also coming in the realm of Maya. Because they also can't explain. We can't explain, they can't explain. They're explaining in terms of particles, in terms of energy, in terms of theories. They're explaining in those ways. Our method is simple. It's Maya. It's inexplicable. That's just what it is. And their explanations are so many and they keep changing. And logically, please think about it. If somebody has to say this is the cause of the world, you should have been there to see it. Correct? If you're going to say that the cause of this thing is this, then at least you should have seen it once. If I say the cause of the mango tree is this mango seed, at least I should have seen once that from a mango seed, a mango tree came. Or I would have planted it and it came. Or I would know somebody who actually did it and saw it. Correct? Then I can say the cause of this is this. Now, who has seen the cause of the world? Anybody has seen? So nobody has seen the cause of the world, but so many people are postulating what is the cause of the world. It means that it's just imagination. It's just people's imagination. Like when we see something, we don't know where it came from. How many theories also we put? We came home and in our kitchen, all of a sudden, we saw a bag of fruits. Now what will happen? So many theories will come. Did this person drop, this person do it, did that person do it? So many theories will come. We imagine. Like that, if we have not seen, nobody has seen the cause of the world. So what is happening? Imagination. There's no guarantee. So we said that is very simple. We call that Maya. You can call it what you want. We call it Maya. But one thing is for sure. For us, even that Maya dissolves in Brahman. Even that very world, which we say is time, space, causation, even that very world dissolves in Brahman. Even that very world is just appearing, because I can exist without the world, but the world cannot exist without me. Awareness. I, awareness, can exist without the world cannot exist without me. So, this Maya is there. Esha. Esha means it is this. This means it is illumined by consciousness. Because remember, there are only two things, aham and idam. Very simple. There's only subject and object. Anything that's illumined by consciousness is object. Anything that's not illumined by consciousness is the subject. Finished. So if we say this, esha, this, means it's illumined by consciousness. So Daivi, it's backed by Brahman. It is indeed there, because we see its effects. Esha, it is illumined by Brahman. And this Maya is Gunamayi. Gunamayi means it is of 3 gunas. It's of 3 gunas. What does that mean? Not that Maya has 3 gunas. Maya is 3 gunas. Okay? And here, what we have is the Tamasic, Rajasic, and Satvic aspects. So Maya is this power. In the Tamasic power, what it does is it veils the truth. This is its Tamasic aspect. The Rajasic aspect of Maya projects something else. So Tamasic aspect is what we call Avarana Shakti. Then the Rajasic aspect is Vikshepa Shakti, projects. The Sattvic aspect is what we call Viveka Shakti, that which discerns, that which clearly distinguishes, Viveka Shakti. So there's a Tamasic power to it, a Rajasic, and a Sattvic power. The power to veil, to project, and to distinguish or discern. So if Maya is these 3 gunas, expressing as the world and expressing as these 3 powers, so why do I have to worry about it? Why? Because this avidya Maya does 2 things, right? So in these 2 realms it operates, these 2 realms. Number 1 is antaha, inside. Inside, what happens? First, inside, it veils. So it veils in the sense that I don't know who I am. It veils, Avarana Shakti. Then it veils, then I start projecting, Vikshepa Shakti. I don't know who I am. I think I could be this body. I think I could be this mind. I think I could be this intellect. I think I could be this individuality. I think we start to project. Then comes the Vidya Maya, or what we call the Viveka Shakti, which says, wait a second. This is the body and you are different from the body. This is the mind, you are different from the mind. This is the intellect, you are different from the intellect. So inside, Maya has that power to make us veil, to veil the truth from us, to project, and then ultimately it helps us to discern. Outside, Maya veils the truth from us. In the sense, outside, all we see are names and forms. We see so many various names and forms, and we get so totally caught up in them. And then we project. We say, okay, I don't know what this world is, so now I'm projecting. I'm projecting that this is a table, this is a chair, this is a computer, this is a book, this is a carpet. I'm projecting, naming, doing all of these things. But finally, at the end of the day, Maya also helps us discern that, listen, separate this. There's the substratum Brahman, and upon Brahman, there's a world of names and forms. Sometimes we're not able to even distinguish. We just see the world, finished. I don't know what this all is, so I think it could be the world. Just see the world. But that Viveka Shakti tells us, look at the world, divided into two. One is the substratum, Brahman, and one is the appearance of names and forms. So this is what Maya does. It veils the truth and makes us project something else on the inside. It veils the truth and makes us project something else on the outside. And Gunamayi, this is the play of the gunas. Okay, then whose Maya is this? This Maya is so crazy. Whose Maya is this? He says, Mama Maya. It's my Maya. It is my Shakti. It is my power. Without me, it cannot exist. It is like the mouth and the power of speech, right? The power of speech cannot express on its own right. It needs the mouth to express. So he says, Mama Maya, it is my own Maya. It is my Shakti. It needs me. It needs me to express itself. Huh? But the question for Ishvara is, if it's your Maya, don't you get deluded by it? It's got these three gunas and it's so crazy. It seems like it's so crazy. Don't you get deluded by it? So Sri Krishna says, no, because Maya, another term for Maya in our Shastra is magic. Magic, Indrajala, magic. Now imagine in a magic show. Now everybody's been to a magic show, I'm sure. Yes? And in that magic show, there is always that one trick that they bring out, like a coffin kind of thing. And they put this very, very good looking person in this coffin and they cut up the person, correct? And when they do that, the magician is nicely relaxing, not feeling anything. But the audience gets very, very, agitated and aggravated. How can you cut this person in half? And then not only this good-looking person goes in the coffin, they cut it in half, they separate it also. And in and through this whole thing, the audience is just getting goosebumps. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? But that Mayavi, that magician, is just chilling. He's also moving everything. And then later on, he puts the coffin pieces back together, and then they open it, and then this beautiful person comes out. And the whole audience also says, they are able to rest now and relax, right? Now tell me, what happened to that magician throughout? He was fine. The coffin is there, the person's getting cut, fine. Totally fine. But the audience is going through a roller coaster, right? Up and down, up and down, up and down, roller coaster ride. Unless you've seen this particular trick many, many times, and also you don't get affected. Correct? You're like, I know that trick already, right? But remember, Ishvara, the magician, he knows all the tricks. You and I, we might know some tricks, but some other tricks we might be like, whoa, this is very, very, how can this actually happen? But with Ishvara, he knows all the tricks. So he is not affected by Maya, not even by 1 inch. And the example that they give is like a snake who has fangs. The snake's fangs don't poison the snake, but can poison others. So like that is Ishvara's Maya, Mama Maya. Okay, Ishvara, you're not getting deluded by Maya, But why am I getting deluded? He says, Duratyaya. It is very difficult to cross. It is so difficult. It's difficult. It's so difficult that even if we know this knowledge, even if we've studied this knowledge, still we get pulled down by Maya. You know why? Because Maya has a great packaging department. Huh? Very great packaging department. So if you go to the store and you want to buy shampoo, they will package it very, very nicely and colorful and everything. And when you go home, the shampoo bottle's half empty. There's barely anything in there, right? But we get caught up with the packaging. We go to a restaurant and they say, you know, there's a beautiful, beautiful meal. It is like lentils with cumin and turmeric and then glazed over with cilantro. And they're charging $30 for it. The packaging is so brilliant, but it's just dal chawal, right? It's just like literally dal and rice. We get so caught up in the packaging, in how things appear, how things look, in the things that we perceive and experience, that again, we're not questioning deep enough. We're not going to the subtleties of life. So we get lost in the packaging. Not only that, but we make excuses. Oh, we make excuses. No, I can't do this now because, no, I can't seek deeper now because I can't do this now. We make up our own excuses. We make up our own limitations. We make up our own imaginations. And so it becomes hard to cross. Although Vittal Bhagwan, and have you seen Vittal Bhagwan? And you know, he says he's standing with his hand on the waist. And the idea is that he tells his devotees that my Maya may be difficult to cross, but don't worry, it's only waist deep. It's only waist deep, so you can cross it. So then Bhagavan says, now, but how to cross this Maya? Now you've told me all about Maya, but how can I cross it? Mam eva ye prapadyante. The one who surrenders to me alone. That word alone is important. Maham eva ye prapadyante. The one who seeks me alone. The one who surrenders at my feet alone. Only that person crosses. So this can be seen from the standpoint of bhakti and from the standpoint of jnana. First, we'll see it from the standpoint of bhakti or devotion. I'm sure you have all heard this example before. This is given, especially in this shloka, that there is a fisherman. There's a fisherman and he casts his net to take the fish. Now he's casting his net to catch the fish. And there's so many fish swimming. Which fish will not get caught? The fish that is right by his feet. Right? So although that net of Maya may go far and wide, those that swim near the feet of Ishvara, the net cannot catch them. So those who surrender to Bhagavan, surrender to Bhagavan's feet, Maya cannot catch them. So one's mind goes beyond Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. It's not Gunamayi, but it becomes like Shiva-mayi, or Devi-mayi, or Krishna-mayi, means full of Krishna, full of Shiva, full of Devi. And I remember in one satsang, one of the brahmacharians told me this, that they were having a really tough time and they went to Guruji. And so Guruji said, hold on to the feet of Gurudev. And so this person said, how? And Guruji said, you keep one hand under his foot and one hand on top. This is how you hold. You keep one hand under his foot so that you cannot walk away from him. You are crushed. And you keep one hand on top of his foot so he cannot walk away from you. You've locked him. And the one hand under his foot is the hand of seva. Because as long as we do seva and perform seva for Bhagwan and Guru Parampara, they will crush our ego. Crushed, crushed, crushed. They will never leave us. They will keep crushing and crushing and crushing our ego. It is their way of teaching us how to serve. And this hand is for our spiritual sadhana and satsang. As long as we hold on to Guru's feet, Bhagavan's feet, with satsang and sadhana, then they can never walk out of us. They cannot walk out of our lives because we will always be in tune with who they are. So those who surrender at the feet of God or Guru, they are saved from this Maya. So the fish who swim near the feet, they will not get caught. But who else will not get caught? The jnani, the one who has knowledge of the self, the one who has realized the self, is not just like the fish, is like the entire water. The one who has realized the self is like the entire water. The water will never get caught by the net. In fact, the water is the substratum of the fisherman, the net, and the fish. So that water symbolizes that person who has realized the truth that this world, Ishvara, and this self are all one and the same. They are not two, they are only one. So he says, Mam Eva, means there's only me. So from the bhakti standpoint, it means surrender to me alone. From the jnana standpoint, it means there's only me. There's only that truth. The person who has realized the self, that person crosses Maya. And what a peculiar thing here. It says, Mayam etam tarantite. Actually, if we truly understand this, there is no crossing over Maya. Because crossing implies that there are two things. That I will have to get realized in another space, in another time, in another life maybe. But there is actually nothing to cross. It's not that I want to cross Maya in my 60s maybe, or I want to cross Maya when I am maybe 70s, when I have grandkids, or I want to cross Maya maybe in my next life. Actually, here and now, we don't have to cross Maya because our very nature is already beyond Maya. The very fact that we think we are bound and need to be free is in itself Maya. So if we truly, truly understand this, we don't need to cross. Our real nature is already beyond that. And that's the person who truly transcends Maya. From the standpoint of ignorance, Maya is seen as real, vastavi. From the standpoint of a seeker, it's seen as inexplicable, anirvachaniya. But from the standpoint of the realized person, it is only Brahman. There's only Brahman. That's what it means. Okay? So this is a very, very beautiful verse. Please keep thinking about it and reflecting about it. And we will see more next week. Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.